Hello everyone, today we're painting the elegant Lenore from Castlevania. We will start from her head and more specifically her hair. We will paint all strands of the hair with oak brown. Alternatively, if you don't have the specific paint, you can use mahogany from Pro Acryl. Apply at least 2 layers. Mixing roughly 1:1 oak brown and burnt orange, we will do pre-shade highlights on the hair. Paint most of the visible hair but avoid the recesses as much as you can and focus on the mid and high areas. In case of a mistake, you don't need to fix it. Just with burnt orange, we will apply a second highlight over the first. Our focus is the center of the flat areas on the hair strands, as well as the front and most raised areas. With all the pre-shade work done, it is time to shade. For this, we will use Agrax Earth Shade and go over the hair entirely. Once the shade dries, we will return to burnt orange and apply one thin layer over the same areas we highlighted with it before we shade it. This time, cover less area in order to give the hair a nice gradient. Also, as now the piece is shaded, avoid painting in any recesses. Mixing burnt orange with medium sand in a 1:1 ratio, we will add details on the hair over the highlights we just did. If the color is too bright for your liking, you can adjust the ratio. Keep in mind that we're going to shade once more on the next step, so it will darken a bit. Let's finish the hair by warming up our highlights. The best shade for this is Seraphim Sepia. Instead of a shade, you can use it as a glaze over the hair, bringing all colors together. Whether you shade or glaze, the results remain the same, which is that the hair are now complete. Moving to the face. Use caution on all following steps in order not to ruin the hair. Our first task is to give the face a nice pale base. For that, we will use Rakarth Flesh. Once a solid base for the facial skin is complete, we will paint the eyebrows with oak brown. If any mistake is done, fix it immediately. You can leave the eyebrows as is or redo all the pre-shade steps we did on the hair. It is completely up to you. As Lenore is a model I really wanted to get my hands on, I recreated all the steps. For the eye scleras, we will use Corax White. For the eyelashes, we will use a small brush and Abaddon Black. The area is really small, so do be careful. The beautiful blood red irises will be painted with corn red. Although the model has them engraved, if you printed it on a small scale, you may need to freehand them, just like me. So go slowly and you'll be fine. What follows is a highlight on the irises with Mephiston red. Paint about 50% from center to edge. Jumping back to Abaddon Black for a bit, we will paint the pupils at the center of the eyes. With the eyes done, we will go back to the skin. To enhance the paleness of it, we will overlay the skin with a thin layer of pale flesh. As we have done lots of amazing work so far, go as close to the completed areas as you feel comfortable. In the end, about 90% of the skin should be covered with the paint. We will then highlight the face with a few details of a light flesh at the nose and around the eyes. I have added a few details on the forehead as well, as it is flat and open at the point. Making a 1:1 mix of Bugman's Glow and Cadian Flesh Tone, we will achieve the color required for the lips. Carefully paint them, and if you make any mistake, fix it immediately. Optionally, we are going to dry brush the cheeks with Pink Horror. As we want an extremely small detail, we have to remove almost all of the paint from the dry brush. Then apply what remains around the cheek area. Whether you took this step, the head is now considered complete. We will start the body from the dress, which extends on both upper and lower body. It will be painted with Leviathan blue. If you have not made zenithal highlights, especially on the lower body, lightly dry brush first with any light grey or white. Also, you don't need an airbrush for this step, you can apply the contrast paint the usual way. After the contrast dries on the upper body, we will paint the skin that is visible with Alucard flesh. Along with the upper body skin, we will paint the hands. Then we will highlight all skin with pale flesh. Fit the pieces together to see from where the light would hit the model and only highlight those areas. When it comes to the main body, highlight up to the neck area, which is a bit higher than what you see in the video. Do not highlight the neck itself. Afterwards, with light flesh, we will add a second highlight on the upper body. Paint up to the pendant Lenore is wearing. For the hands, we will just add details on the most prominent areas that the light will hit. We will leave the body for a while in order to finish the hands first, as they are simpler. On her left arm, the twisted ring will be painted entirely with Abaddon black. Subsequently, with a small brush loaded with corn red, we will add details on the ring. On the other hand, literally, the ring that exists will be based with Rune Fang steel. Then we will shade it with Nuln oil. Follow up the last step once the shade is dry with highlights of Rune Fang steel. Alright, back to the upper body now. With Thousand Suns blue, we will paint the fabric that is the barrier between the dress and the skin. Same with the cloth at the end of the sleeves. Be careful, as a mistake here can ruin either the dress or the skin. We will highlight those areas with Ahriman blue. As the coat will be on top, only the first 2.5 fingers need to be highlighted. Same for the sleeves, only the front side requires highlights. It goes without saying that if you want to highlight more, you are free to do so. Afterwards, a little bit less of the areas highlighted will receive a second highlight. The color for a set highlight will be Baharoth blue. The belt will be based entirely with dark blue-gray. Here we have to be careful again in order to avoid making a mistake that will ruin the dress. We will follow up the previous step with a nice thin layer of grey-blue. If you are fast enough and manage to wet blend the two colors, it will be amazing. Else, a simple overlay is enough. We will go back to Rune Fang steel for a moment and paint the belt buckle and the pendant. It is recommended to use a thin brush for the pendant as it is very small. If any mistakes happen, fix them immediately, applying the color required. Then, because the belt is too bright, we will darken it a bit with Drakenhof Nightshade. As the Drakenhof dries, we will shade the pendant and belt buckle with Nuln oil. Do not let the shade pull in any areas. Feel free to mix the shade at the bottom of the area of the belt buckle where it connects with the belt. Let both shades dry fully before continuing. Once we verify both shades have dried fully, we will once again use Rune Fang steel and highlight both areas. Then, with the use of Stormhost silver, we will add a few details here and there on the pendant. Also, we will apply a few details on the top part of the belt buckle. By adding a detail of soulstone blue at the bead at the center of the pendant, we will finish it. You can alternatively use Thalasar blue. To finish the dress itself, we will highlight all of its details. To do that while keeping our sanity, we shall dry brush dark creeper on the cloth of the upper body as well as the sleeves. On the lower body, we will dry brush the front part only and cover all the raised areas. With Thunderhawk blue, we will go lighter over the same areas, giving an amazing finish to the dress. Unless you prime the cape in white, at least 2 layers of sky grey will be used to base it. If you prime the cape white, 1 or maximum 2 are required. Afterwards, with Corax white, we will target the slightly raised areas as well as the upper part of the cape. We want the peaks to be covered with Corax white while the valleys keep their sky grey. On the upper front part of the cape, apply a second layer as well. Subsequently, using any pure white, we will paint close to the edges and the center of the highlights. I used bold titanium white, but feel free to use any pure white you have. The heels are optional as they will be mostly under the dress. I will show you how I painted them in case you want that too. I want to make the center of the heels open, so I painted it with the base skin color, which is Rakarth Flesh. Since having open heels can make your feet feel cold, even when you're an undead, I thought of painting a couple of layers to imitate stockings. Therefore, I diluted null oil with contrast medium in a 1:1 ratio. Then started applying it in layers. In hindsight, I could have just gone with undiluted null oil since in this case the difference is negligible. The heels themselves got painted with a Leviathan blue exactly like the dress. In order to avoid painting in the shaded area, I started from the edge and dragged the brush away from it. The cutesy teeny bows were based extremely carefully with Contour blue. Then they got highlighted with Alucard blue, again with extreme caution. Those who know me personally are probably laughing when I say I used extreme caution. Hey, just a heads up, it's been ages since I was the destroyer of worlds. I'm retired now. As the highlight color was too bright for something that is under a dress and barely getting hit by light, I shaded the bows with Drakenhof Nightshade. The results should look like this. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, or else. All colors used in the video are on your screen now. I was MiniatureUrsus. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.